Folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Got a lot of things to cover in this video. It's just kind of one of those mixed bag videos, you know, the ones that I'm talking about, where I cover a lot of different things. Just because I think it's a lot that's going on, and I'll be honest with you. The thing that I really wanted to talk about is community, because I think it's really important, but unfortunately not too many people care about that, and they don't click on the video. So I'm going to tell you, this is a clickbait video. Not really. I am going to talk about some really important things in the news, but stick with me, because at the second half of the video, we're going to talk about community, why it's important, and just maybe some things that you can do to meet others that are like-minded, because of the vitally importance of just getting to know and having those connections with people out there that are like-minded. So just bear with me, folks. I hope it'll be worth your while. A few announcements I want to make. Our local meeting here has been set, and it is April the 24th. That's the last Sunday of this month. For those of you that attend our local meetings, everything is the same, just April 24th. You can show up at the time that you're able to, or normally. If you're interested in contributing to the meeting through talking or through bringing food, certainly shoot me an email, and you know, we'll get that figured out. For those of you that's come before, you kind of know the drill. If you're new in the area and you want to attend, shoot me an email and I'll give you the details on that. But it is April 24th. Meeting starts at around 2 p.m. Everyone usually shows up at least a couple of hours early just to get to know each other. It is very family friendly. There's no charge or anything like that. It's just like a church social potluck kind of feel to it. So mark your calendars if you can come. Also, I know I haven't mentioned it in a while, and bear with me because I'm going to explain some things. We are still on for our homesteading expo at the end of May, May 26th and 27th. You can go to preparedhomesteadexpo.com. You can find out more information about it. I have updated the website. For those of you that want to be a vendor at this expo, there is now a link that you can go and sign up to be a vendor, and I will get this. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, hey, I've tried to email you, and I'm not getting any response. Well, there's been a little bit of a problem, and I didn't even know about it for a while. But the email that I'd set up to redirect it to my personal email, it just wasn't working. And I didn't know that until I realized that people started getting a hold of me and say, hey, we're emailing you about this thing, and you're not responding. That redirection email was not working. And so now I'm going in and I'm trying to do a big catch up, and there's hundreds and hundreds of emails in there. So bear with me on that. But the ball is moving. It's moving fast. We've got t-shirts planned to be there for people to purchase, and we're going to try to give them to you as the lowest price we can. I've got several speakers lined up, some really great ones that I'm not going to announce just yet, but some pretty cool ones. Several really good vendors have signed up. This is a 2-day expo. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, again, go to preparedhomesteadexpo.com and you can find out about it. This is the grounds that we host our meetings on, and it's about 20 acres of grounds. There's some woods there and hiking trails and big open field and a building and pavilion and, you know, little kids park type stuff, playground equipment. And so that's what we're using for 2 days. And there will be vendors in the homesteading preparedness realm. There's going to be skills demonstration. People are going to be demonstrating various different skills, like spinning wool, doing a few other things, canning, different types of skills like that. We are going to have special speakers lined up. Now this event, here's the catch. This event is completely free to the public. Usually you will not find these kind of events that are free. And I am determined to make this event free to the public. That's going to be hard. I have no interest in making any money off of this. It would be nice to break even for the money that we're putting into it. So we're not charging, and we're just saying if you feel led, you can make a donation. You can make a donation online through the website. You'll be able to make a donation in person if you attend the event and you feel so led. There is a very small fee for vendors that we're asking them to donate, but it is very small compared to events like this. I already have several hundred people that have reserved tickets. So when you go to the website, it's going to have a little thing for tickets. They're free. You don't have to pay anything. You don't even even have to present any kind of ticket when you come to the event. That is just there for us to get an idea of how many people are coming. So if you plan on it, please fill that out so it helps us get a better idea of how to plan for this event. But it's going to be a really fun thing. For 2 days, you can come both days, one day, whatever, but there's more information, preparedhomesteadexpo.com. And the ball is really rolling along, and I'll be continually giving you some updated information. Let me get to some news. There's some things that I want to throw out there that I think are important. And so here they are. China, we haven't been talking about China a whole lot. We've been talking about China when in regards to World War III, but we haven't been talking about China too much when it comes to, their lockdowns. And most of you know this, but they are going through another surge over there of the and they're saying this is worse. The surge over there right now is worse than it was in the very beginning of all of this. We all know, and even our own government has admitted that China has not been forthcoming on the truth of what's gone on over there, and how many cases and how bad it is. So there's that. But what we want to talk about and mention is that China has locked down their main city, their big city of Shanghai. Now, this is a huge shipping city. Manufacturing and shipping goes out of Shanghai, and they've been locked down for 2 weeks. And they're saying that it could be a much longer lockdown than just 2 weeks. And it's a hard lockdown. This is absolutely affecting manufacturing and shipping, which goes from Shanghai mostly to the United States. And so you should expect to start seeing an even greater increase, I would think, of supply chain problems on our end. Now, it's going to take a while. If the lockdown happened 2 weeks ago, according to the news, it's going to take a few weeks for that to trickle down to the United States, because it's a big ocean. Got it? But that's a problem. And so it's just one more nail in the coffin of supplies, food shortages, economy, and everything else. Something here I saw that General Miley, the Joint Chief of Staff Chairman, I'll get it out in a second. He is saying that the possibility of us being engaged in a fight, a battle, a war between us and China and Russia are becoming much more likely, and he is putting in a request for more nuclear missiles that can be launched from subs and from boats and ships and stuff. So here's more talk in that, and it just seems like it's moving further and further down that road. I believe that he also said that they expect that this war with Russia and Ukraine, that it's not going to last weeks, and most likely not months. It could last years. So folks, we are in this for the long haul. And I've said on here, I can't predict things, and I can't, I don't have information that you don't really have. I just have a feeling that this whole thing with Russia and Ukraine is going to just continue to grow and expand and get bigger. It doesn't mean that tomorrow we're going to be at war with Russia, but I think what's happening over there right now is setting the stage for global conflict later on down the road. So keep that in mind. And then the last thing in the news that I wanted to mention today is this avian flu that they're saying that's spreading all over the United States. And I know that many of you think that it's baloney. It's very possible that it is, or that they're just overreacting to it, but they're claiming it's the worst avian flu in at least 7 years here in the United States. They're killing off chicken and turkey flocks all over Minnesota, the East Coast. It's spreading, and it's all over. And of course, obviously, it's causing prices of chicken, turkey, poultry to skyrocket. Here's an article in Bloomberg talking about a surge in turkey prices. Poultry is doing the same. Eggs are up about 50%, and they're going to continue to rise. Now, for those of you homesteaders, even those of you that have a backyard, chickens is like that's like the gateway drug to homesteading, folks. They're not expensive. They're not difficult to take care of. They don't need a lot of space, and they actually can produce quite a bit for what you get. Now, don't get them as pets. I mean, you can, but you have to understand, we're not talking about something that's just cute and enjoyable in your backyard. We're talking about something that's going to produce for you. They're going to produce eggs. You can hatch out some of those eggs and raise some of their offspring to be meat birds, as long as you have a rooster. And then when the layers just get too old and they're not really laying anymore, you eat them and you throw them in a crock pot or, you know, a soup pot. That's really what chickens are for, but they can produce quite a bit. So I highly advise, if you don't already, get you some chickens and start your flock. Plan on that. I'm a little late on mine this year, but I'm getting ready either today or tomorrow to fill up our incubator so we can start the process of hatching out our own. But the prices of chicken, turkey, eggs, it's going up. Meat prices in general, dairy prices, it's all going up, folks. It's all going up. Get prepared for it. Now on to what I wanted to talk about that a lot of people just don't seem to care about. I know it's not as exciting. It's not as exciting that we're about ready to get, nuked by the Chinese, or that we're getting ready to go in and invade Russia, or an EMP is going to strike, or an asteroid is, 2 hours away from hitting us. None of that stuff is true, but that's the kind of stuff that gets people drawn in to watch, YouTube videos. This kind of stuff that I'm talking about is probably a lot more important than that, but just not as interesting. And that's community. Community is important. Now, I used to be, and I've been in the preparedness and survival and survivalist. I mean, I was in it back when it was called survivalist, prior to Y2K. So a long time. And at that time, I was a lone wolf kind of guy. I thought I could just do it on my own, and I didn't need anyone's help, and I didn't need to depend on anyone. And if I was a single guy and had no family, no wife, no kids, no friends or anything, I have the skills and the knowledge to handle it on my own. I'm confident because I have put my skills to the test over the years. But the vast majority of us, we need community, okay? We may not like people. I'm not a people person. I'm actually an introvert. But we need people to survive. That's how we were created. That's what we were meant to be. And so it's very, very important through all this that we are going through now, and what we will go through as this worsens, is having a community of like-minded people that we can depend on, that we can help each other out, that we can barter and trade with. This is extremely important. You can call it your tribe. You can call it your MAG, your mutual assistance group. You can call it your crew. You can call it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. But a group of people that is like family, that you can depend on, that are like-minded. This is really important. And I know most of you agree with that. But the question is how do I make it happen? How do I find people? How do I build that connection? And I'll admit, that's a hard one. I tried for years unsuccessfully. And I know that I have this YouTube channel now, so that gives me an advantage. But I really think it's not just the YouTube channel. It's how I've kind of changed my focus in talking with people and trying to get meetings and groups and stuff started. And I'll talk about that here in just a minute. But how you find people, I mean, word of mouth. The internet, there's all kinds of places on the internet. We have a website of our very own. It's called tphnetwork.com. There's a link down in the description below. TPH, that stands for the Prepared Homestead Network.com. And it works just like Facebook. It functions very similar to that. There's almost 5,000 or maybe just over 5,000 people on there right now. And it's very active, a lot of conversation, a lot of chatting, a lot of sharing, a lot of making connections. So that's one way. But there's others. There's other websites that are like that. I believe Bear Independent has some type of message board forum type thing. Several other YouTube channels do that. So that's possibility. And then, myself and a few other channels kind of promote, encourage people to host meetings, and we mention them. So listen for those when I mention them. And then it's just word of mouth. It's meeting people. And it's difficult because I know some of you live in the big cities, some of you live in liberal areas. And because of that, it's just a matter of numbers, folks. It's going to be harder to find like-minded people because there's just less of them. Out here where I live, probably 70% of the people are very close to being like-minded. So it's easy. And where you live, it may only be 10 or 20%. So it's a little harder. And because you live in a liberal area, most people don't want to talk about this too much because they're afraid of what'll happen. But there are ways to do it. You have to be careful, but there's ways of kind of opening that door. You don't just walk up and say, "Hey, are you a prepper?" You can just kind of talk about things in the news. What do you think about that? What do you think about these shortages? What do you think about, how bad it's going to get? Go to rural areas and farm stores, go to attend homeschool meetings and homestead groups, things like that. You're going to be more likely to find that kind of stuff. Any type of off-grid community meetings or, public meetings, you're going to do a better job of finding that. And I know it's difficult, and I can't promise you that every one of them you will find it, but it's something that you really need to put a lot of effort into, of building that community, making those connections. Now, how do we do it? Well, obviously I have a YouTube channel so I can talk about it, but if you host a meeting in your area, get a hold of me through an email, and I will promote your meeting on here too. It'll give you the same advantage that I have. When we have our meetings, and there's 250 to 300 people a month consistently that show up. And I try to make it very laid back. Our primary focus is building community, not building a mag, not building a militia, not building a crew or anything, but just a big overall community. And I figure once people get to know each other and build that family-like connection, all that other stuff will start to fall into place, and it is. I make it really laid back. It's very family-oriented. Sometimes almost to the point that people complain, which they have, because there's a lot of kids there and they get a little noisy sometimes, but we're trying to come up with ways to keep the noise level down so that the adults can also hear things. But the fact is, it is a wonderful thing to see something like this and a couple of dozen little kids running around too. It's really a good thing. There's teenagers, there's middle-aged, there's elderly, there's all different backgrounds and ethnicities that are coming to these meetings. And we don't care if you're an advanced expert or you just woke up yesterday. You're more than welcome to come to these. And that's kind of the atmosphere. We have food there brought, we bring in food and other people bring in food, and we allow a lot of time for people to just get to know each other. In fact, that's the biggest thing that we do, is just mingle. Okay, just talk, just get to know each other. And then we take about a couple hours out of all that, and we actually talk about things. I'll have various people within the group that may have knowledge of a certain thing, and they come up and they talk about it, whether it's bug out bags or first aid kits or canning or ham radio or in gold and silver or whatever it is. And they come up and they talk for a little bit, and then I talk for a little bit, maybe a couple other people talk depending, and then we talk about as a group about what we're going to continue doing as a community, what activities we want to do, things that we can help each other out. If someone needs help fixing a barn roof, or if someone needs help repairing a tractor or harvesting their corn or whatever it is, we make those kind of announcements and encourage everyone to help each other out. We have a seed bank that people are contributing to and taking out of, and so we also have a sharing table that people can bring leftover things and excess produce, and people sometimes go and they find really good deals on bulk food, and they bring extras, or they bring clothes that they have outgrown, or different things like that. And every one of these things help build that community connection. And so while you're trying to do that, maybe try to get some of these things to work. Our focus isn't on come here to do bug out bags, come here to build a mag group, come here to do some training and combat and guns and equipment and tactical and all that kind of stuff, which is a lot of times the focus of these types of groups. Our focus is building that family connection, creating a community where there's more than just a casual connection with people. And once that connection is made on a level that we have an emotional care for them, that we can start to look at them as close friends and family-like, then all this other stuff will start to happen around us much easier. People will want to build groups to defend each other. People will want to go to each other's house to help them fix things and to harvest things, and because we've built that community. And so that's the model that I use. I basically look at what happened back in the old days, you know, when the first towns out west were popping up, and how they functioned. They were, you know, they were people coming together and getting to know each other, and little by little they built their community. And that's what we're trying to do here. So folks, I encourage you strongly to do that, to do everything that you can to build a community. You can get on tphnetwork.com, potentially find people in your area. Can't guarantee it, but as it grows, you're more likely to. And really work on doing that, because it is so essential. It's just as essential as stocking up on food and bullets and Band-Aids and all that kind of stuff. Building community, folks. All right. Thank you, folks, for watching and listening to my just, you know, running my mouth off. Get yourselves prepared and your houses in order. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.